Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
Hello, good morning. It is another great week.
Another great week.
This month went by fast. I feel like January and February went by a little bit slow, and now we're already at the end of March.
We're already at the end of March.
That's crazy. I just realized that.
January went on for about a good 18 weeks.
18 months, it felt like.
I mean,
whew.
Wow. That is actually wild that April, next week we're recording in April.
And April 1st is our 6-month anniversary of Structured Chaos. So that's cool. But how was your week and weekend?
My week was good. As everyone can see, if you're watching, I'm no longer a redhead. Mm-hmm. I have brown hair.
It's very cute. Love it.
Thank you. So it is so funny to me. I have been a redhead for 2.5 years. And that's the longest I've ever been any color in my life. And never changed my formula, not a once. So I just use the same formula. It fades. You see different reds, and then I go back. Every single time my clients see me, they're like, "Oh God, your hair just looks so great." I'm like, "Thank you. Same it has the last 17 times you've been here, but thank you." And they're like, "Oh, you changed your hair." I'm like, "Nope, but thank you." And so then when I changed it, obviously it's changed now. And everyone's like, I was like, "Yeah, it's been 2.5 years." And they're like, "No, you have not had the hair that long." I'm like, why would I lie to you? So, when I get something in my mind, I have to do it. I know that I did previously speak about how I was going to change my hair color, but I woke up on Tuesday morning. I was like, I've never felt so ugly in my life. I hate my red hair. We need to change this immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. It was that dramatic in my mind, but it wasn't that dramatic.
When you know, you know.
Yep, exactly. So I finished work a little later on Tuesday, and I was like, whatever, I'll just do it here. And then go home and wash it out. So I get home, and I definitely think I have talked about this before, but if I haven't, I have a possum problem. There is a possum that lives on my fence right next to my staircase, and I don't care what anyone tells me or the internet or whatever. In my mind, it can jump 7 feet in any direction it wants to, and it will latch on to me.
Hell yeah.
So I was paralyzed. I could not move. And so I call my friend, and I'm on FaceTime, and they're like, just go. And I'm like, I can't do it. Because I have to walk directly next to it.
It's a narrow space.
And I'm like, I have color on my head. I have to get in the house. What am I going to do? And they're like, just go. And I'm like, I can't. And I'm shaking the fence. I'm kicking the fence to see, can it just scatter away? And it didn't. And this girl, so if you don't know, I know it sounds weird for anyone who doesn't live in California, who's never experienced it, but we park in alleyways. I know that sounds confusing and weird. So I park in an alley, and this girl was getting something out of her car that lives in the apartment, so across the way. And I was like, hi. I was like, I actually don't know if you can help me, but there's a possum on my fence, and I have to wash my hair. And I can't go by. I'm like, can you please help me? And she's like, a possum? Oh my God, no problem.
I would
I'm
have been
like,
like, good
I'm
luck.
like, I'm like, did you hear the word I said? Because you're acting as if I said like a little bunny. Like, and so she's like, oh my God, like they're not going to hurt you. It's totally fine. Walks up, touches the possum. I
No.
said, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And she's like, oh my God, no, like they don't have rabies. I'm literally up, I've run by and I'm up the stairs at this point. And she was like, no, they're totally sweet. They're fine. Go, little guy.
No. She's like, it's my pet. She's like, Jonathan,
She goes,
why'd you get out of the house again?
well, actually, it's funny that you bring up Jonathan because they've named him Henry.
Oh.
Okay. Because as I was getting ready to leave for dinner on Thursday, one of my neighbors was like walking in and I was like, what are we going to do about this possum? And he goes, Henry? And I said, oh, fuck no, that we've named him at this point. And he was like, Henry's not going to bother you. And I was like, Henry is a Tyrannosaurus Rex in my mind. So he is bothering me. I said,
Henry's not paying rent.
So then I find out that the fucking fence that it's on, because there's a house next door to me, they're feeding it. And there's two of them.
No.
There's a girlfriend. And I said, well, if they want to feed it, then they can feed it from within their house and they can have them as pets. Because I literally cannot leave my house if that thing is there.
Oh, hell no. They need to pay part of your rent.
They need to pay all of my rent at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So that being said,
Wait,
my hair got too
how
dark.
old was this girl?
Oh, RH.
I thought you were going to say she was like old. And
No,
like,
RH.
oh, no. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so your hair got too dark because it was
So my hair
too
got
long.
too dark. So I spent too long. So then I redid it. I like had to add some highlights. And then I woke up in the morning and well, not that night, but I didn't feel good on Wednesday. And then later on the day, Wednesday, I was like, I have to do something about my hair. And then I woke up Thursday morning and I was like, well, that was an odd placement that I chose. I was like, that's not going to work. So then I had a busy day Thursday. Kelly and I went to dinner. And then Thursday night, I was like, I can't wear my hair like this. And so then I did it again. So I did it 3 times, but here we are and I'm loving it. And yeah.
I was wondering why you had to do it so many times. I could have just asked, but I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, the story didn't come up when we were at dinner. I knew that you had to redo it after dinner and I didn't ask why, but I also like, since you do hair, like I didn't want to be rude if you like accidentally messed something up, or maybe they'll plan all along to have to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for sharing because that was a great story.
You're welcome. So yeah. And then we actually should have started with this. So it's just like, it's hard being a sports podcast. Like, it's just like amongst all of the other things that we are, like, it's a lot right now. Like, we are sporting this week. And so March Madness started on Thursday, and Kelly and I went into making our bracket and we were like, do we do it for like us being the number 1 sports podcast, or do we just like let everyone have like a level chance of being successful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so because we are here for you guys and we aren't here to be the best, you know, we were like, let's just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just have fun. We're not going to take it seriously.
Yeah. We don't want to be those guys, you know, like
the ones that everyone expects to be perfect all the time. Like, this is their job, you know?
So annoying.
Like,
no one likes those guys.
We weren't trying to be like an insider expert, you know?
No.
We're like, take that hat off and let's just be Kyra and Kelly.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's just be fun loving. That's who we are to our core. That's relatable. That's like, that's what people like.
So we're in 286th place the last time I checked.
Same. Mm-hmm. We wanted people to feel like they...
And you're welcome.
We want it to be achievable for others. So yeah.
You're welcome, everyone. lot of things no one saw coming in March Madness. It's been great. God, I just love watching it because you just don't know. And one and done, like, and a bad team could have a great game and a great team could have a bad game. And there you go. So yeah, March Madness going on right now. Sweet 16, going into the Sweet 16. It's gonna be good. And then in the NBA side, Bronny James, I talk a lot of shit about the nepotism and his lack of, I think that he should have been on the team, but he is really doing well these past few games. And I give the kid credit in general, being 19 years old, like having all of the media attention on him, good and bad. And like, really just like you don't hear anything from him. And the other day he finally spoke out and he was like, do you guys think that I don't see it? Like, do you think that it's like just so easy for me? He's like, I try my hardest to like let it go in one ear and out the other, but like it does affect me. And I do hear everything that everyone is saying. And I see the things that people tag me in and the headlines. And so I do like, not that he lives, a hard life per se. But I just want to say I feel bad for Bronny, and I'm grateful that he, has held his head high, and he really is like starting to like get the flow of being on the court in the NBA, and I think that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And then over the weekend, I went to dinner and I was like in the shower, and it like got me thinking, like, when you take an everything shower, like how long is that?
Like, how long does the shower last?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't
Like per se. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you have like your different categories of showers.
Yeah. I don't know, like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say like mine are like a good like 30, I think it was 36 minutes just based off of text messages. And like,
You were texting in the shower?
No, from like the last text that I got, and like
Was that part of the everything shower? Was
yes,
responding to all your text messages?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I just love an everything shower, and I just like, and I know that I may be a small group of people that feel the same, but like, there is nothing more than that I love than like getting ready. Like, that is one of my like life's like simple pleasures for myself. Like, I love to have 3 hours to get ready. And like, and just take my time, take a shower, put music on, have a glass of champagne. Like, I just love taking my time to get ready. There's nothing like just like a good get ready.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I know you don't feel the same.
Well, I was going to say, so when you asked me that question, I'm like, I'm probably not the best person to answer this because while you should enjoy like an everything shower, and I do, because it's like relaxing and it's just a time to be disconnected. I'm just thinking of all the things that I need to be getting done, and I can't write them down because I'm in the shower.
Well, you could just bring your phone in like I do.
I'm like, I need to get a whiteboard in the shower so I can write while I'm in there, and not because then I'm like, I'm going to forget this. And
honestly, not a bad idea.
Right. I could be productive. So I feel like I am probably on the shorter end because I'm just not really dilly-dallying like I could. And that's the same with getting ready. I'm just kind of like, I mean, if I'm with my friends, like if I'm with people, like if I have people in town or something,
if
then
you're
it's
doing a
more
group
fun.
shower.
No, I mean like the getting ready part, not the shower. Not the shower part. But like the doing hair and all that, like when my friends are in town or something, my friends from Alaska that come visit, sometimes they both do hair as you do. So usually like if they're in town, they'll do my hair if we're, getting ready and stuff. So obviously I like that because then I don't have to do it. And it's like fun, obviously, if you're with other people getting ready. But if it's just me, I mean, it's fine. It's not that I don't like it, but I liked it a lot more when I was younger. I think like the whole do my makeup, do my hair. Now I'm like, I just wish it was done. I like being ready. Like, I like being dressed up and all that kind of stuff. But the process, I'm like,
Well, according to Bryn from New York, don't you dare hire a makeup artist.
Oh,
Don't hire glam.
no. It won't be the first thing I do if I had enough money. Yeah,
So,
no, I
yeah.
always thought that'd be so fun if I was like rich enough. Like I would just be like, oh, that'd be so great. You could just nap and not
To
have to do it
get up
yourself.
every day, put some eye patches on. My AirPods would be in. I'd be listening to a podcast or a
Yeah.
book on tape or something.
Yeah.
And like,
Not have to do it yourself and just get it done.
and
Like,
then I open my eyes and I look flawless.
yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, I like to have it done. Like, I like to have makeup on. I like to have my hair done. I just don't really like to do it.
Yeah.
But so if I could just have someone else do it, that'd be great.
I'm both. I go, yeah. I mean, obviously for obvious reasons, I want someone else to do it, but
Yeah.
I do. I just like love to get ready.
Yeah.
And then lastly, because I really did have such a great week last week, and like the sun was out, we've had rain for the past few weeks, and like Kelly and I had the best view at dinner. I'm gonna like let her talk about it, but like it was just such a perfect night to have dinner there. But first, I want to say congratulations to my friend Danielle on baby Louis' arrival.
Oh.
So yeah, one of my best friends back home had a baby this week, and he's so perfect. Oh, he is so perfect. And she had a great delivery. And it was so weird because I knew she had the baby. And we were like all talking in the group chat. And like we were just being, you know, because we were like waiting like hour by hour, like, you good? Like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, yeah. And she's like answering. And she was like, I'm going to go on this day if I don't have the baby. And like, this was on Wednesday when I wasn't feeling well. But every single part of me, I was like, she had the baby. I'm like, I just have this feeling like she's there. Like like this overwhelming feeling. I'm like, I feel like it. And then she sent the baby and I was like, I fucking knew it. I was like, I had this feeling. I was like, so you lied to us. I was like, noted.
Aw.
So yes, welcome baby Louis.
Yay. That's exciting. Well, this week I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like last month I had said that I was going to be doing my taxes.
Yes.
And then I completely missed my appointment. So I actually had my appointment and did my appointment this week. So that was good. I'm happy to have that done with. And then we went to dinner Thursday. So we went to this place in La Jolla called B-Side Balcony. It's so good. They have a Del Mar location, which we'd both been to before. And also, I mean, it's obviously like the same thing. So we already knew that we were going to like the food, but we'd never been to this location. And it has a great view. It's like on this little like corner. And
yeah, it's like tucked to like it's like a puzzle piece essentially. Yeah, like it's just like
a perfect little. Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it, but I'll put a picture of the view on our carousel, and so you can just see the ocean. The weather was perfect, like it was just so nice. We went right before sunset, so you know we were there during sunset, but it was just so nice. And we had like a little 3-course meal with wine pairing thing that they were that they're newly offering, so we were trying that.
Wait, but really quickly, so they bring out the last wine pairing and it's in a shot glass, and Kelly and I both look at each other and we're like a shot? I was like, is this Sambuca? Is it tequila? Like because like Sambuca, I feel Sambuca is like what they would serve at a dessert course, like if you were. And then she was like, oh no, it was a dessert wine. And we were like, phew.
I know. I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday. I can be doing shots. And she was like, no. But it was really nice. The food was good. The like owner of the restaurant came over and talked to us. They like
so kind.
Make their own honey because they have like beehives there, and it's called B-Side Balcony. And so he came over and like talked to us, and I just love that when, you know, there's like an actual connection with like the owners and the family and the, you know, the restaurant, whatever. So that was nice. And yeah, everything was great. So that's what we did on Thursday. We also, this is hilarious because we obviously drove separately. So we met there, and we both saw the Oscar Mayer hot dog truck. We both saw it separately and we both took videos of it. And when we saw each other like in person, we were both like, I saw the Oscar Mayer wiener truck and like took a video of it. And like, why are we obsessed with hot dogs? I don't know, but it's just
Why
like
are
so
hot dogs obsessed with us.
right.
Why
Like,
do the dogs keep coming into our life?
The dogs keep following us. We both saw the Oscar Mayer wiener truck and both got a video of it. It was just so random. And it was in La Jolla, which is also so random because this truck is huge.
Huge.
And it's just going down the streets of La Jolla and we both happened to see it.
And we saw it at different spots.
Yes. And just very weird. So anyways, that happened on Thursday.
We had great communication. Kelly and I were on the same page about directions.
Directions for what?
When you asked where I was.
Oh my God. Okay. So here's the thing about Kyra, and you've done this before. So we're going to the same place. Neither of us have been to this restaurant. Okay. So she calls me. We're both like walking from our cars where we parked. And she's like, what is it by? And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm walking over there too. And she's like, okay, I'm by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. Cause I'm like, obviously we're both like familiar with La Jolla, but like not so familiar that I'm like, I know where every single store is, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm walking.
I will just say that the reason that I do ask Kelly that is because she's always early to everything. And I feel like she also does like her due diligence and like looks at things. So I just assume that you always know things that I don't.
Okay, but to be fair, the things you were by were 2 blocks away.
Oh, to be fair, yeah, I walked the completely wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I parked directly across from it.
So then I'm like, okay, and yes, I was early, but I sat in my car for a little bit because I was like, well, I didn't want to be to the restaurant too early. And Kyra's usually late, so I also didn't want to be super early. So I'm walking, and then I'm about to be at this like hotel, which is kind of like a
staple
where, you know, okay, so where are you in relation to this hotel? So then some of the places she's mentioning, I kind of get a feel for where she is. So I'm like, okay, where is La Valencia? Is it on your left or right? I'm trying to figure out what side of the street she's on. And then I'm like, is the ocean on the left or right? You know? So then I'm like, because I'm just trying to figure out what direction she is at. Because I know where the restaurant is in relation to where I'm standing, but I don't know exactly where she is. And so I'm like, okay, is the ocean to your left or to your right? And this is also what was confusing to me because you said that the ocean was to your left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're walking towards me, I'm over here. You're walking towards me, the ocean's to your left. And so then I'm like, okay, so she's walking towards this way. So I'm like, oh, perfect. So she's down here. That's where the restaurant is. And then I said, well, what about La Valencia? La Valencia is to my right.
It still is.
How is the ocean to your left and La Valencia is to your right?
This is my right. This is my left. This was the ocean. This was La Valencia.
But why would you be walking diagonal like that?
Because it splits right there. The road splits right there.
But why were you... So anyways, my whole point is that neither of us have been here. So I was like, it would make more sense if you were just looking on the map. Right? Because I told her, I said, I'm not there yet. I'm walking from my car. She's like, I'm by Better Buzz. I'm by blah, blah, blah. I said, I think you should look at the map. Like I'm doing. I'm by blah, blah, blah. I'm walking into the ocean that's on my left. And it's also on my right. So I'm thinking she's coming from a completely different direction because she said the hotel's on her right. So then once we get there, I said, you just said the hotel was on your right. She said,
because literally I was like, oh, I see you. I said,
because I was turned this way. I said, oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, if I was turned upside down, it would have been behind me. Like, we just we're never speaking the same language ever. Literally ever. Which is funny.
And when we are, we shouldn't be.
No. It's just, and it's so funny because I think Kyra will always say like that she's such a good communicator, and I am not saying that she's not, but you're only as good of a communicator as you are in sync with the person you're communicating with. And so you're like, it's just so funny to me because she will say something and full-heartedly believe she is being so clear and like, this is so obvious what I'm saying. And I will read it and be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, this is the most general question I've ever heard. Like, what can I get one crumb of a detail? And it's just like so funny how we are reading the same thing and being like, what the fuck are you talking about? So that's something we're working on. We are not a communication podcast.
That's one thing we're not.
But maybe by next year, because we are working through it. We're working through many languages. So that was Thursday. And then over the weekend, I had a follow-up with my naturopath doctor. I've been seeing a naturopath for about a year now. And she's helped me with like so many things and just like wonderfully improved my health in so many ways. And so I was like doing my follow-up labs and just lots of amazing things happening. And yeah, so
Kelly's a healthy lady.
I am. So some things still that I need to work on, but lots of like good progress with lots of things. So
which is so nice because it's like, as long as we see improvement, there we are, you know? And it gives like the like not courage, but like you're like, okay, like I am going to keep doing these things and like
exactly. Yeah. The motivation and like, okay, this is working. And like, I mean, I already knew things were working because obviously I feel better that they are. And like certain issues I was having, I haven't not been having. And so it's just amazing. But yeah, so that was great. And then yesterday I went to brunch in Coronado. And that
looks beautiful.
Amazing. When we got there, it was like a little bit overcast. And like, as I was driving there, I was like, oh, this sucks because I knew it was going to be a good view. And I was like, of course, the day we go. But the moment we sat down, it started clearing up and just beautiful views. And then I went to a little coffee cart thing in Barrio Logan that I've been wanting to try.
But was it good? I saw the pictures.
Yeah, it was super cute and really good. So yeah, everything was good.
We had a great week and weekends, and like we're going the pod start. Like we're gonna go and eat our Friar Frank this week. We are a few days away. We both have our outfits. They look so cute. And wouldn't you know, we are not gonna be matching.
I know. So yeah, but okay, what happened in the news this week?
So yeah, I think that we're going to start adding like just like a little bit more of just like celebrity and like pop culture, just not Bravo exactly based. Because we have to talk about Tracy Morgan at the Knicks game.
Yes.
I first and foremost, glad he's okay. Like I feel for the guy. We didn't want to give him like a bag or like anything like
I feel camera like it just happened so fast.
But like I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I don't know what I would do. That thing just waterfalled out of him.
I couldn't watch it. Just us when we talked about it that night, I got so nauseous. I almost puked just talking about it. So I don't really want to talk about it too much. But we are a sports podcast and we are obligated to talk about things that happen at sporting events. So that's obviously we're going to cover it, but it's, yeah.
Ooh. I mean, talk about a place you don't want to be in when that happens.
That or an airplane.
Like,
being sick on an airplane is the worst.
Being the person sitting next to the person getting sick on the airplane.
No, being the person that's sick is the worst because
what if they projectile vomit on you?
Being sick and you have to feel guilty because you know everyone around you.
That's what it's the guilt that would kill you.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, some people don't give a fuck, but me.
Yeah.
I've been that person before, throwing up on a plane.
I would be like, I would love to personally purchase every single person's ticket. I can't. But if you do subscribe, then maybe I'll be able to.
Yeah, when we make it big, I'll reimburse you. Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, that was just not cool. If you guys haven't seen the video, this man just projectile vomited courtside at the Knicks game. And then had a bloody nose.
Oh God, please stop.
Sorry. And then because then they covered him and like the towel was bloody and then they wheeled him off. Yeah.
Ugh.
He said it was food poisoning, but I have never seen that be the results of food poisoning. But whatever it is, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have a weak stomach.
Well,
in not disgusting news, this week was the 19-year anniversary of Real Housewives of Orange County premiering, which is crazy. That was the
insane.
first housewife that ever premiered. I remember watching it.
100%.
Like, I have watched since the first episode of Orange County. So 19
years ago, our life changed for the
Forever.
better, and it brought us here today.
It did. 19 years. So that was crazy. They were kind of posting like throwback pics and stuff. And then also Bose was in Vogue.
She looked gorgina.
So good. She really, she looked amazing. She talked about like all the designers that she wore throughout this season, head to toe, like literally sunglasses, accessories, outfits, everything that she very, very, very intentionally picked, handpicked every single thing that she wore throughout the season to like really amplify different designers and just all those things. So she talked about all of that, and just we love her.
Love her.
And
I
we'll
love
talk
her.
about it more obviously when we get into the show next. But yeah, she looks beautiful.
Yeah. And
So,
then that leads us right into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this week.
Yes.
So they're in St. Lucia, which by the way, just like we talked about it like a little bit last week. Like that place just looks fabulous that they are staying at. The views are breathtaking. I could just sit on my balcony and eat breakfast and be perfectly fulfilled the entire day. Like, oh my gosh, just so gorgeous.
So nice.
And then they're on the boat. And I love.
Well, before they go on the boat, they have the dinner.
Oh, right.
So they're at the dinner. That's kind of like where it starts, right?
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, so Kyle and Garcelle are matching, so there's two scenes this week that I thought were very much us. That was one of them where they show up in the same outfit. And I was like, we're so different, but there's so many times that me and Kyra show up to record the episode and we're wearing the same exact color.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh my God, that's so us. So that was funny that they showed that. And so they go to the dinner and a lot of stuff happens at the dinner. My favorite thing was when they talked about Bose, when she saw Mauricio out in public with another girl. And
that's a girl's girl.
That's a girl's girl. In her confessional, she played her voice note. She goes, and she's like,
that's a girl's, and that's being a girl's girl.
And I'm definitely putting that in the carousel this week because I just loved her voice note. And like, I feel like Kyle did not appreciate it.
Okay. Well, as
much as she should have.
I'm so glad you said that because at first, as she's like telling the story in real time, I was like, did Kyle know? Is this how she's breaking it to Kyle for the first time? Like,
I thought so too. That's how her reaction gave like,
she was
upset because she was like, oh my God, why are we talking about this at dinner? Like, I didn't know.
Yes.
Then
obviously we hear the voice note and like, no. And like, it was perfect. Like, it's exactly what you would have wanted. And like, Kyle should have been like, that's who you want on your side.
Yes.
That is who you want. Like
this girl is not cute. Like, what do you want me to do? I'll go get, like, just, that's like how we talk.
Yes.
And I get it. It's still like like she's too much in it probably to feel like she's feeling hurt by the situation. So that's probably why she was like, not.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
but I still think like,
also,
it's still like, it's still great. Like, that's who you would want like you said, on your side. So that was my favorite part of the dinner. But
Yes.
a lot happened at the dinner.
A lot happened at the dinner. I mean, it's like always, and like all these shows, it's the irony and all of it. It's the hypocrisy and all of it. It's the no one can take accountability when it's the heat's on them, but you know, they're the first person to light it up for somebody else.
Mhm.
And I just like, I don't know. I just like always go back and forth on Sutton. It's like I want to feel bad for her. And now that we've seen like her background and like how she grew up, but then it's also just like to kind of like what you and I were talking about prior to like recording, like it's on you to figure it out. It's on you to be an adult and like take
Mhm.
accountability. And like I
But
feel
I
like
think she did at the dinner. She apologized.
but I think like she says like the PC thing to say. Like I don't
Mhm.
think she actually like means it. I think that she speaks well and she's like, this is what I need to say. Like I don't think it's
Yeah.
because she actually, because then it goes into Erica's point of when they're on the boat and Erica's like, do you mean it or are you just saying it? Because
But I think, okay, so at the dinner, she apologizes and Dorit basically like doesn't accept it essentially. And I really like that Bose like calls Dorit out and
love,
is like,
again, love,
hello,
love.
you're not accepting this. You just keep going on and on and on. And you're just like dismissing the fact that she, and whether you think it's genuine or not, she says, I'm sorry for, and she lists what she's sorry for. She doesn't give a half-assed apology like they usually do. She doesn't say, I'm sorry, but you did this. She doesn't say, I'm sorry, you feel this way. I'm sorry. She says, I'm sorry that I said the thing about the money. That was gross. I should not have said that. Period. Like it was the way she worded it was a real apology.
Mhm,
Whether she
mhm.
means it or not
Yes.
is not for us to decide.
Yep.
It is for them to decide. Dory can decide, I don't want to be
I
close
hear
with you
you,
anymore.
but I don't want to. Yeah.
Right. And that's okay. But she doesn't get to decide whether Sutton is being truthful or not. She can decide, I don't want to be your friend anymore. But it's like, what else do you want from her in this moment? So like
Agreed.
when Sutton had the freak out on the boat, I get it because it's like, what else do you want? She is saying, I'm sorry, period. I'm taking accountability. That was gross. I should not have said that. That was dirty. That was wrong. That was gross, period. And she didn't say, I'm sorry, but you provoked me. I'm sorry, but you did this. It was just, I'm sorry, period. And so I'm glad that Bose was like, Dorit, like, what, like, you need to acknowledge that or don't. But it's like, but what else do you want from her right in this moment? Not making, it doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't mean anything else. But in this moment, what else do you want her to do? And then basically outside of this, you can make your own decisions about your friendship with her. Or if you think that she's has this cycle, which, you know, we'll talk about the boat thing. But I just think like, what else did Dorit want her to say at that moment? It just kind of like,
yeah.
she apologized and that's what it is. And then if you think she's going to keep doing the same thing, then don't be friends with her. But what else was she supposed to say?
You're right. Like in breaking it down like that, like you are right. I think actually like what my issue is the same thing that I think everyone's issue is, like the other women's issue is like, I just don't know if I like Sutton. So then it's like, you know what I mean? So then
Yeah.
I'm just like biasly like, nope, not a good
You're, like,
apology.
nitpicky.
No. Yeah. Cause it's like, I do like, I want to like her. She's not a girl's girl to me. And
I see her as like very, what's the word? Like, I see her as very cold, but because it's like she's protecting
protecting.
herself.
Mhm.
And for that, I have like sympathy for her. I'm not saying that it makes it okay, but I think I just kind of see
No.
where she's coming from. And I think she's trying not to get hurt by people. So she's like protecting herself. And
Nope. And I feel completely opposite because as someone who has experience in that department with people who are like that, it affects everybody around you and you got to figure it out.
Oh, for sure. I totally think she
So I
needs to figure it
don't
out.
feel for her because like you're a whole grown ass adult with every resource available. So,
but I don't think that it's that she's not a girl's girl. It's like I think she doesn't know like how to be like vulnerable and like let people like in. Like I don't think it's that she's mean to girls. I don't think she's mean to girls. I think she's scared to like let women in and like be friends. Like I don't think that
but I think that because of that she is directly mean to people.
I don't
because
think
she just uses it as her defense. I mean, calling someone out about their money is like gross.
I know it is gross.
But that's what
but
I'm
I
saying.
Don't think
like
she's
I think
a
like
mean
she
person. I think she said mean things, but I don't think she's like mean and like hates women and is like
Oh, okay, yes. No, I don't think she hates women.
But I think like I don't think she's like not a girl's girl. You can have mean moments and like still be. I think she's just. I don't know. I like her. I
You got
think
a soft spot for her.
I think she has bad moments, like we all do. But yeah. So then they go on the boat, and so then Erica calls her out, which it's like Erica has had so many mean moments over the seasons of being very, very vicious towards women. And I do like Erica as well. So I'm like, it is ironic to me that Erica is the one that's like, you were not a good friend, because I'm like, Erica, you've had a lot of bad times and you're having a good season right now and we really like you, but you've had a lot of down times where you have not been kind. So,
and I think that's, that is reality TV.
It is. It's like, a cycle. Everyone has their good and bad seasons. Yeah.
Kathy asking everybody to help her.
And Jennifer Tilly, like, the richest one there, probably.
Like, I think she forgets who I am.
Yeah. But she just so kindly, she's like, no, I didn't see any dressing. She doesn't care. And like her earrings, she was like, oh, there's only one of these made or whatever. And she's like, that sounds so obnoxious. And they were like, no, that sounds rich. But it's just funny that she is probably like the richest one there, but she doesn't act like it. She's not obnoxious.
Nope.
She's just funny. That's why we love her.
Yep. Gotta show. You know what? If they don't ask her back next year, because that was like the rumors that everyone didn't like, that the girls didn't like her, whatever.
Which I don't get that.
I don't either. Get her own show then. Get her own show. I would love to see behind the scenes her like working on being like the world's best poker player and like having all these fabulous homes.
We want to see her house and her closets and everything.
All of her homes.
Yeah, exactly.
This bitch has a home just for throwing parties in Beverly Hills. I'm sorry, in Bel Air.
Oh my God.
Like,
what?
Just to throw her parties.
Oh my God. We need to be friends with her. Jennifer. Do you want to be our friend?
We love you.
I feel like she's like, would be a great addition, not an addition, a guest on Structured Chaos.
We're not a guest podcast, Kelly.
Yeah,
so
but we can have some guests, as we have. Jennifer would be a great guest.
Jennifer,
JT,
Miss Tilly, if you hear us,
J Tills.
Honestly, who goes on Watch What Happens Live anymore? It's Structured Chaos.
This is the place to be. We are the #1 sports podcast, but we also talk about reality TV. So,
and finance and health,
sometimes we talk about sharks. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about.
And we're pretty well versed in it as well.
Yeah, we know it all.
So yeah.
But we're also here to learn. So,
please teach us. We actually are not poker players.
No. Let's learn how to play poker.
Let's learn how to play poker with Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah. So let's start a new podcast. Wow, I think we're going into new business. I don't know.
We are now
the ball's in your court, Jennifer.
We're now a gambling podcast, so
Which
I know some of my friends will love that, because this year 3 of my girlfriends have taken up bet boarding. Nope, I don't know what that word was.
Taking up what? Skateboarding?
Sports betting.
Oh. I was like, what the hell? Sports betting. Okay, isn't that illegal?
No.
Oh.
Mm-mm. Yeah. And I'm just like, so yeah, 3 of my friends are sports bettors now. So they would love our new
so
podcast.
this is going to be a good crossover between our sports podcast and the new gambling.
Our new journey.
Okay. Jennifer, the ball's in your court. Another sports reference. See what I did there? Okay. So now, moving on to Southern Charm, which really is going to take us 2 seconds to go over because it just wasn't much.
For a finale, I couldn't have been more excited that it was a finale and I didn't have to see it again.
I know.
And
okay, Shep is so weird. He's like a completely different person.
That phone call when he invited Molly to be his date, like, first of all, you're in your 40s.
He's like 45.
Why do you have to call somebody on speakerphone when you're with your friend who also, I thought in the beginning of the season, was talking to Molly? Right?
And
like,
Sienna.
Like, I just don't get it. And he's like, hello, hey, Molly, I'm here with Whitney. We got you on speakerphone. Anyway, yeah, would you want to be my date? And then when he's like, oh, and make sure you say, I'm like, what?
I know, it's so bizarre. And then like when he goes to pick her, okay, did she live with her parents?
I don't think so.
Her house was giving very like parent house.
But I don't think so.
Okay, because like there was like so many pictures on the wall. Like
I think she's just quirky. Okay.
But it wasn't giving like parent
100%, but I really don't think it was.
But then he twisted the balls on the thing, so maybe not.
That was a gift from her brother.
And then he's like talking about the the zipper, and then he's like having to explain
what was he wearing?
I don't know. She looked amazing. But it really was giving we're going to prom. The whole scene.
They honestly look cute together.
They do, but I'm like, I never knew he was such a weirdo.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they should be together.
And Taylor could not have been more of a fucking hater watching them enjoy themselves all night.
I know.
And so is she not with her boyfriend because he was like in the first 2 episodes or 3 episodes?
He doesn't want to be on the show because everyone hates him. But they are together.
Oh, okay.
But he's on the other show.
Southern Hospitality.
Yeah. Because he works at.
Oh, okay.
I think. He's like more with that group.
Or he's like friends with TJ or something.
Yeah.
Roommates with
TJ. Yeah, JJ.
Whatever. TJ. Yeah. So yeah, they have their finale is, oh my God, I could not, Ryan and Madison throw a prom. I could not have related more to Ryan when he goes and they're like looking over the venue and he goes, well, these have to go. And he's like, we're going to put these somewhere, like pampas grass, like in the feathers. I like was dead. I'm like, that is me.
And then they were like hidden in the room. And then when they went in there, he was like, I tried to get rid of these. Madison looked so good. Her husband looked so good. Looked so good.
And so we last left off talking about how supposedly that JT had told the barber, you know, that there was some black girl that was after him on the show or wanted to date him, blah, 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 blah. So then called the barber, denied it, blah, blah, blah. Ryan and Vanita are now having the conversation with Leva, with special guest Leva that no one asked for.
No.
And he, good for him, standing his fucking ground. And he was like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not make that up. I am not going to pretend that I made that up and that wasn't told to me. Like, no.
This is what I don't understand. Okay. When JT called the barber, he said, no, you did not say that. And he said, if I relate it that way, that's my bad. So I took that as the barber probably knows when he was telling Ryan the story that he said, yeah, JT was like, you know, talking about some black girl and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's how he retold the story. But he didn't say, JT said some black girl, blah, 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 blah. So Why I don't that's exactly how I took it when the barber said that. So I'm like, he cleared it up right there. He didn't say JT said verbatim, this black girl. That's how the barber was retelling the story, and the barber referred to Vanita as some black girl. That's how I took it. So I'm like,
I didn't take it that.
why is everyone like, why can't they understand that the barber's the one who said it?
The barber is for sure the one who said it, either which way. Like,
right. So
whether he repeated it or brought it up. Like,
Leva heard the barber say that. He was like, okay, so JT told this story to the barber that, like, whether he said this beautiful black woman or my friend Vanita, who's a black woman, or whatever, JT told a story. He was not talking derogatory about Vanita. He was telling a story. And then the way that the barber said it, he doesn't know Vanita. So he was like, I don't know, some black girl. And then, like, the way Ryan took it was like derogatory, but it's because it got lost in translation, and the barber cleared that up right in front of Leva. So why is she still saying Ryan made it up? It's like, Ryan didn't make it up and JT didn't say it that way. So why are we still confused?
It was like, it was dumb. It was so dumb. And it was like, took up the entire episode. I couldn't have cared less about it. Like, all of it. It was just so lackluster. It was so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, like, I really am just excited for the reunion. Hopefully, like, I just obviously want to see the JT Vanita thing, which brings us to the ending credit, which I just
they showed
get.
Okay, well, we did see that, like, after filming, Craig and Paige obviously broke up, which we knew already, but we saw the little Craig telling Austin and Shep, and I did think it was sad that Craig was like, I wasn't able to tell you guys because I didn't think you guys would be able to keep it a secret, or specifically Austin, which I do think is sad.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell your best friend. And then also, one more thing about the party, I like Sally now. I don't like that she looks different every time we see her. I mean, I've always liked her, but, like,
I like that new girl that they had with the
the new girl in the last episode. So I liked her. Like, she sticks up to Taylor, and when they did the little cheers, like, cheers to you guys dating each other's exes, and Sally's like, I got the better one, and then, like, 10 seconds later, Taylor's like, I got the better one, and Sally's like, I just said that. So, but yeah, in the end, they said that Vanita and JT started dating after. So that must be just the drama we haven't heard.
But it's the same girl.
It is. But they must have broken up. Him and JT and Vanita started dating, like, for real. And then he ghosted her and then got back together with that girl. I don't know.
It's all dumb. It's all, yeah.
The reunion should be good. So, yeah. Summer House, they have a shipwrecked party, and it looks fun.
Carl does know how to throw a party.
Yes.
I love that he, you know what, like, again, he's not my cup of tea, but I love that he is himself. And, like, the things that bring him joy, let those things bring you joy, Carl.
Right.
You know, good for you.
Very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
He brings a date, and they seem like a good match.
They could not be more simpatico for one another.
Yeah.
Like, they are.
And it was a good timing that, like, Lindsay's not there, so he can really just, like, be himself. Also, Lexi's not there, so we really get to see the Jesse West romance, like, in full force, and I love it. I'm here for it. We also just get to see, like, Jesse being more of himself, and which includes, like, flirting more with Sierra.
He likes Sierra, and he knows that he can't be with her because of Wes. And
right. And yeah, but I think it's cute, and just overall, I like seeing more of Jesse's regular personality.
Same.
That we don't get to see when Lexi's around. And we also got to see Amanda, like, designing her swimsuit line, which she talked about last season. And that's exciting to see because we see so much of just, like, Kyle drama with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm happy that she's, like, doing something for herself.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see, like, this whole episode is building up to, like, Kyle and Craig and the drama, and they're going to talk. And then, like, we don't even see the conversation between them until next week. And it's like, okay.
And then because Craig is there, we just are seeing the cracks in their relationship. And then Paige went on the after show and she said a lot of things. And, like, I mean, going back to December when we all found out, like, it was really like devastating. Like, not that we know these people, but we know these people. And like, they really did seem so happy. And so then, and we said like, oh, it's amicable now, but it never turns out to stay that way. So we are going to find more as time goes on. And to hear Paige say like, every single time something exciting or big happened for me, like he would make it about himself. And I had to play damage control all of the time. So like, we don't know what he was doing, but she basically through his actions, she felt like all her fun was always sucked out all the time. And like,
that's the worst.
And like, to her point, like her wildest dreams are coming true right now. Like that she never thought, like, it's like, we all want, you know, this. And if we start to get it and you're with someone that doesn't support that or isn't championing you and like just like cheering you on, like just as excited that you are having everything you've ever wanted, but like to then make it about themselves, like I would like, you can't, that's not a sustainable relationship. Like you can't go through life with that feeling from your partner.
Yeah, I know. It's sad
Which is
to
sad.
see. So you're starting to see that. And it's confusing, the timelines, just because Southern Charm obviously shows them breaking up and now we're going back. But yeah. But okay, so one funny thing that when the girls, Sierra and Paige, are watching the boys set up for the party, they're like, how long does it take them, blah blah, and Paige was like, my dad would have had this done in 10 minutes. I'm like, that is so me. Like, I'm always like, I feel like my dad is like so handy. He can like fix anything, do anything. And I always think like, I need to marry someone that knows how to like fix stuff, because my dad and my brother know how to like fix and just like
100%.
do anything.
100%.
And there's so many guys that don't know how to do stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, my dad would just like know how to do this. And I'm like, just know, I'm used to just being able to be like, oh, can we just fix this? So that was funny.
Exactly.
We mentioned last week that we were going to talk about Temptation Island, and even though it's a full season, we can talk about it like it's quick. Yeah, because we're not gonna talk about like episode by episode. I wanted to like briefly just tell the audience like who the couples are really quick, and then we can just kind of give our thoughts. And then we want to, if you've watched it, tell us on our post this week like what your thoughts are, and then we could talk about it more next week, like based on what people's feedback is or whatever, if people have thoughts on it.
And speaking of feedback, really quickly, thank you everyone for engaging in our stories the other day and letting us know like kind of like what you want to hear about from us.
Yes,
we have some fun things coming up and some ideas, so thank you.
Yes, and one of the top 2 things that was voted for was for us to answer listener questions. So we will be posting a thing at some point, like collecting questions to incorporate in an episode. So make sure you're ready to submit those. Okay, but anyway, so if you don't know Temptation Island, it's been on like forever, but this is the first season that it's been on Netflix. So and they released the whole season at once, so it's a binger. And there's 4 couples. They basically go to this island, and the premise is that they get separated and they live in 2 different villas. So there's 4 girls, 4 boys. They live in villas, and then they have all these like singles that come live with them. So the 4 girls go live in one villa with a bunch of like single guys, and they go on dates with them and things like that. And then, whatever. And, during that time, they cannot speak with their partner, but they will go to this bonfire thing and see clips of what their partner might be doing. Some of the things might be like out of context. Like they'll see like a snippet of a conversation or more than a conversation.
They like probe them,
Yes. So they're just seeing certain things. And so anyways, the 4 couples, so we have Alexa and Lino. They're both 28 years old. And that's the other thing, these people are young. they've been together for 3 years, and basically when they first started dating, she was kind of like seeing two different people. And so their like main problem in their relationship is that he has always felt like second choice because she was kind of like seeing two different people. And also she's a traveling nurse. And so they like move a lot, and he's kind of been like following her, as they move. And so he's always like kind of uprooting his life and his journey to follow hers. And so that's just been kind of an issue in their relationship. So that's one couple. The second couple, Ashley and Grant, they're also both 28 years old, and they've been on and off for a year and a half. In the beginning of their relationship, he cheated on her, which obviously made her like not trust him. And they're going on this show so that he can prove to her that he's like trustworthy and changed. The third couple is Shantae and Brianne. Shantae is 29 and Brianne is 26. They've only been dating for a year, but they want to start a family. And early on in the relationship, he was involved with someone else. And so she has a hard time trusting him. And he is like very, very sexual and always talking about like threesomes and wanting to bring other people in and wanting, her to be more sexual and all that stuff. And he's like very, very fixated on that. So it's hard for her to trust him. And so supposedly he's going to, prove that he can be trustworthy. And he has like a lot of girlfriends. So he wants to prove that like he can have a lot of women in his life and like be faithful. And then the fourth couple is Taylor and Tyler. Taylor is 30, Tyler's 27, and they started dating right after Tyler got out of a 6-year marriage. So he's only 27. He was married for 6 years, and then they immediately started dating. So he's like never really been single. And so that's like their main issue because he's never really been single. And
their main issue is he hasn't worked in a year.
Bro, yeah. So also, yeah. She basically wants to know that like he's in the relationship for the right reasons and not just that she's like supporting him financially. He left his job to like be a model, and yeah.
So, Kelly that I work with, her like good friend and neighbor is best friends with
Taylor.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the four couples. So basically how the show starts is they all come to the island together. The first episode, they like show the couples are together and they introduce them to the singles together. So they'll sit there and like all the single girls come out and they'll like say these like sexual things and like they're like in swimsuits and they do these little dances, not dances, but like a little like whatever strut, and they'll like give this bracelet to like whatever guy they like while his girlfriend is sitting right next to him. And these girls are bold. Some of the girls were like, I'm blah 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 and my favorite hobby is sucking dick.
Like so I was watching it with my friend and they were saying like how like the girls' villa was so boring, like the one with like the girlfriends. Because the girls are in a house with all guys, the guys are in a house with all girls. And so I said, listen, as a woman, like, I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm just saying that this is the reality. When a woman is put into a situation and it's like, let me see if I can get your man. I said, not that it's a good thing, but like they are all single. Like all of these, like these women are there. So like to see if like they have a connection with these men. Women know what to do. Mm-hmm. Sex is easy. They will throw sex in your face. Mm-hmm. And so it's like these girls are fucking ruthless. Like they're having a lingerie party the first night. And then you like go over to the girls' villa where it's like full of guys. And it's like, so what book did you read today?
Right.
Are we journaling? Like,
yeah.
It's so like vastly different.
Yep.
Like it is turn up time in the boys' villa and turn down time in the girls' villa. Like,
and you see like throughout the show that you see the different stages of growth that, I mean, obviously each couple has different issues and is at different levels of growth and things like that, but also between just the guys and the girls in general, that the girls for the most part are working on more like, okay, is this the right relationship for me, or like really
Why is it the
questioning
right
that.
relationship? Who
Right.
am I? Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're doing the work.
Yes, they're doing the work, and the guys are, I mean, okay,
Doing.
so the one guy who was fixated with threesomes, he has a threesome on the show, and they show it, and his girlfriend has to watch it at the bonfire. So that's like heart-wrenching. So she goes to this bonfire thing, and they're like, okay, here's what your boyfriend's been up to, and it's like him having a threesome. And she's sitting over here, like Kyra said, journaling at night, like crying and like, I miss my boyfriend. And she's barely even speaking to the guys in the villa, because she's here to like, she needs to build confidence and like get the strength that like she has more self-worth and all these things, that he's over here banging it out. And then the next morning he's like, no regrets. And he's like, and Shantae will take me back. And it's.
So I will say, like, watching that episode, I was just like, hell no, like this fucking guy. Now get me to the end of the show. I have a very different take. Do I think that in order to find yourself, you need to have a threesome? No. But I also am looking at it this way. If having that threesome gets you to be the very, very best man that you can ever be, and that you have this self-awareness, and that if that's the worst thing that you will ever do, and you will never do something like that again, and you have this just like understanding, then I can't like I can't be mad at you for that.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be how I would think that someone would have to go about something, but that's what makes us all different.
Yeah.
And okay, also shout out to Mark, the host, because he is not a therapist, but he should be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he is just like, I love the questions that he like asks, and like the outlook that he has. Like, he's just so good. And so then we find out from the guy who had the threesome, like he has this like epiphany and understands like how wrong he was, but then like goes on to share about like his life and how he grew up and everything. And I am not a man. I am not a black man. I have black friends, and I specifically do ask these questions just to try to gain a better understanding. Like, I know in general as a man, it is hard to be vulnerable. I also know that as a black man, it is that much harder for them to be vulnerable because they have had to be survivors and protectors, and, a lot of adversity towards them. So it is very, very hard for them. You could tell that man wanted to break down, and it was the rawest moment that he had ever had. And like, what he shared his story, and then like what Mark said in response, like I just like really, really, really felt for him in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not saying it takes away everything that he did, because fuck that for having the threesome on national television.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I really do feel, and I don't know because I don't know what he's like today, but he seemed to have had this breakthrough moment of understanding the values of life, what he wants, what he brings to the table, like how he shows up as a partner. So I will say, from that to the end, I did feel very, very different.
Yeah. So he, like, the very next day he said like no regrets or whatever, but then as time went on and he had more time to like process, he did say that like having that experience made him realize that like having those types of experiences are not what fulfill him in life. And he came into the show being like, oh, like she needs to be more sexual and she needs to do this. And really, like, he wasn't looking at himself and how he's not giving to the relationship and how much she does give. And like, just having sex with a bunch of people is not what fulfills him. And so, like you said, like, it would have been nice if he could figure that out without having to like humiliate her and do all these things. But it is good that he was able to learn that lesson. So they didn't have a reunion, but they recently came out with this, like, where are they now? So it's been a year. This was filmed a year ago. They're still together. So, I mean, that's great for them.
Mm-hmm.
That they were able to work through it. It sucks that it was on TV because all of your friends and family and everyone knows forever that that's what happened.
But again, maybe there's something to that. maybe there is something to everyone knowing and not having to play coy and not having to pretend that everything is perfect. It's almost like celebrate you more because look what you've been through and like.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between like
I know.
knowing that someone got like, I mean,
And
if
seeing
you
it,
know
yeah.
that someone got cheated on, okay, but like having to like see it, it's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the show is entertaining. It's a good binge. So basically, I mean, there's already been spoilers. If you haven't watched, then you shouldn't be listening to this segment. But Alexa and Lino get engaged at the end,
Cute.
and then Ashley and Grant. I mean, so they don't leave together. She chooses to leave with someone else, and he chooses to leave alone.
Mm-hmm.
But so I've been watching because they're all like on TikTok, like updating. So I guess so. He then started dating Natalie after, which is the girl he was like with on the show. But then he cheated on Natalie with Ashley. And then they were on live the other day, like on TikTok Live. Ashley and Natalie were together. And Ashley, because they're like friends now, the girls.
Okay.
Ashley was like on the phone with Grant and he was screaming at her. Like he's very verbally abusive.
I could tell.
So, and he's just a hot ass mess. Like he was blaming her, wanted to leave with her after talking. Oh God, he is
blaming her for everything.
He was just like, well, I didn't feel like you cared about me from seeing the clips. Like, meanwhile, he was already like fucking this other girl in the shower. Like all this stuff. It's just like, what type of gaslighting ass shit is this? You literally shouldn't do anything until she saw you hooking up with another girl. And then she was like, okay. And very respectfully and calmly moved on and like didn't even do anything crazy. You saw her talking to another guy and you were like, oh my God. And like crying and just
stupid.
And then Tyler and Taylor broke up and he left with someone else and she left alone, I think. So anyways, that was Temptation Island.
And it's really like an interesting like social experiment to watch, especially if you are watching with a guy, because like the vast difference between men and women, like you can see it clear as day. And it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So,
and like there's like little 23-year-old girls on there that are trying to make big deals out of nothing. And it's just like, girl.
And they're like ready to be married.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It's wild.
Okay.
So if there's other shows that you think we should watch, let us know, because I just realized or I saw online that this week is the finale of Beverly Hills. Or yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it because I was thinking about when we made our video. It feels like so long ago.
I know, but they're on vacation right now. I'm like, how is it already I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, our shows are ending.
If we know one thing about the Housewives this year, all of them, it's that they just stay on vacation forever and that's how we end the season.
I know. So lots of our things are ending. I know some new shows are starting, but if you have any like shows or like documentaries or something that you think we should
it doesn't need to be reality.
Yeah, anything interesting that we should watch and talk about, let us know. So those are all of our shows for this week. And as always, we'll be ending with our questions of the week because of course we want to continue learning and growing every week. So what is one thing that you're working on this week?
Finding some shelves for my bar area that I'm going to do. I got my backsplash in. It looks really cute. So I have to find like wide, like not like wide enough shelves, like deep enough shelves to like have a little bit more. And then I'm going to do like a picture wall. So I need to like get my pictures together that I want to use for that.
Nice. I'm working on letting go of expectations, which is...
I'm proud of you for that's a good one.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. One thing we're looking forward to.
Dogs.
I'm looking forward to a short work week. I'm only working 3 days this week. And then obviously the game.
Right now I'll be reporting live from the Diamond.
And feeding dogs to the pods. And one thing that made you feel like an adult. I
had to make a DMV appointment because I had to get my registration, but I was like, shoot, real IDs are happening starting May. So I had to get that. So I'm like, I might as well make an appointment and go in then. So I made an appointment with the DMV, made some doctor's appointments. I'm like, ugh, I hate adulting.
I know. Mine was finally getting my taxes done. So, yeah.
And I'm looking forward. The sun is shining this week. I'm going to the beach today. It's going to be 77.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm getting 2 hours in.
I'm going back to pickleball tonight. I didn't get to go last week, so I'm excited.
I was wondering. I thought maybe it was canceled or something because you were talking to me, and I was like, "These are pickleball hours."
Well, I couldn't play because of my stitches.
Yeah, and can we get a medical update?
Well, actually, also though, I couldn't play because of my stitches, but then it did end up getting canceled last Monday because it rained. So I was like, okay, I didn't really actually miss out. There's no update. I still have the stitches, but I'm fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
So that is all for this week. We hope you laughed with us and learned something. Make sure you are following us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and subscribe wherever you listen, on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're consuming our content, and leave a rating, review, share with a friend, all the things. And we will see you next week.
Bye.